Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much for showing up on time. We really, truly appreciate that. So without having to keep you for so long, I'll invite you to start having breakfast. Breakfast is served, and as we wait for the other guests to arrive. So please, breakfast is on my right. Thank you. Good morning. We will be starting in 5 minutes. So if you need to grab something from the buffet or grab another cup of coffee, please do so now. We will start in 5 minutes. Thank you. Good morning. Could I have the music turned off, please? Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Winnie Wambugu. I'm the Director of Communications at Smart Africa. Welcome to our event. Thank you so much for honoring our invitation. We do sincerely apologize for starting a bit late, but I think we'll keep things rolling pretty fast to have you live in good time. I would first like to recognize the Minister of Trade, Ms. Soraya Hakuziyaremye. Welcome. The Mayor of Kigali, Chantal Rwakazima. The UN Resident Representative Fode Ndiaye. Ambassadors from Mali, Uganda, Congo Brazzaville. The PS in the Ministry of ICT, Claudette Irere. Distinguished guests, members of Smart Africa, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Allow me to quickly go through the program. It's a very brief one. We'll start with welcoming remarks from the Executive Director of Smart Africa, Dr. Hamadine Touré, who will then invite the guest of honor. I will then be back on stage to do a quick presentation and let you know the status of where we are with Transform Africa 2019, what we've done and what you can expect down the pike. We will then have an interaction, a very brief interaction session with you, the audience, led by Jean-Philbert Nsengimana. And then one of our platinum members in Masat will do a very quick 5-minute presentation. This has something to do with what we are planning to do at Smart Africa, so it is important. And then we will then have a very brief press conference in the room over there, but the guests will be allowed to leave. So I'm going to aim to have all this done by 10 a.m., so we will keep it moving very, very fast. Okay, without further ado, let me welcome Dr. Hamadine Touré.
Good morning to you all. Your Excellency Soraya Hakuziyaremye, Minister of Trade, we are very pleased to have you here. I would like to congratulate you for your appointment at this very strategic position for your country and for Africa. Mayor of Kigali, Chantal Rwakazima, we're very pleased to have you here. As you know, Mayor of Kigali was our first host when I first arrived here in January 2016. The former mayor gave me an office on his floor, actually, a temporary office to set up Smart Africa. So we had a very warm welcome here in Kigali, and that has set the stage for our Smart Africa, which is now spread all over Africa. Mr. Fode Ndiaye, the UN Regional Coordinator, you have been a partner of us for a long time. Every edition of Transform Africa Summit, you've been with us. Ambassadors of Mali, ambassadors of Congo, Brazzaville, and ambassador of Uganda, and the permanent secretary, whom I would like also to congratulate for her appointment in this very important position that is actually leading Africa's transformation. Having the trust in you, the President highlighted really the hard work you've been doing. You're one of our partner from the very first edition of Transform Africa Summit. So I'm very pleased to have you here. I have also our private sector partners here in this room. I would like to welcome them all. Our academia partners are here too. And we have also a number of Rwandan government institutions here in this room that have made us what we are today. So I would like to say a warm welcome to all of you and thank you for being present at this breakfast event that is the launch of our Transform Africa Summit 2019. We're starting early this year, which is good. You've seen the other editions. My friend from Sweden was giving the best expression of what was going on in the last editions. We're paddling comme on le dit en français, les canards sur l'eau. On pédale bien en dessous, mais en surface, c'est comme si tout se passait bien. And we have worked hard, indeed. This time we started early so that we could really do this event even better. Transform Africa has and will always be a subject of a shared vision and pride in what we can achieve by working together as one. And I'm borrowing an expression of UNDP, working as one. When the SDGs were launched, UN family was trying to work as one. I was part of a family at a time, so I know that's your motto as well. And we know that Transform Africa Summit has established itself as a stellar in its reputation as in all tech events in the continent, as the largest event and the best rendezvous for Africa. If you are somebody in the ICT field, you gotta be in Kigali during the second week of May every year. That's what we pride ourselves of. And I'm happy to announce that as we convene this morning, the preparations for Transform Africa Summit 2019 are already moving into cruise speed. Our board of directors, chaired by His Excellency President Paul Kagame of Rwanda, approved the theme of the event, and it will be boosting Africa's digital economies. The theme will bring to the fore the rapid transformations our continent is going through under the enabling influence of ICT, and the world, and as the world embraces the fourth industrial revolution, we have seen Africa leading in some of the most advanced applications of some of our founding members. Kenya is the birthplace of M-Pesa, which was first invented in the world. And thanks to that, you can pay your parking in New York, Tokyo, or Washington. You can pay hamburger, do business, and sell with your smartphone, pay your bills, and even borrow money. We've seen also Rwanda launching the first drone service in the world. One of the most advanced techniques techniques in the world being experimented here. And there are other similar things that we will like to see Africa continue to succeed, be it robotics, artificial intelligence, data analytics, and other things be it in agriculture, healthcare, commerce, and even government service delivery. At Smart Africa, our mission is to provide a platform for innovation to scale up faster and allow our businesses, especially the SMEs that are driven by our young people, and I see many of them here in this room, some of the young startups, the future billionaires of Africa. Please don't forget us when you guys become billionaires, okay? And this will bring us to a real revolution in the continent for countries who will dare to dream big, to dare to be first. And that's what will take the continent to the level our leaders are daring to dream for us today, which is very high. 2019 will also bring the second Transform Africa Economic Forum. Last year, we had the first edition. It was very successful. And for this edition, we have chosen to focus on Startup Africa as the theme. Africa is a startup continent in many ways. We have no legacy system to deal with. We can be innovative and agile. We need more talents, and we are investing in developing it. We need a flexible policy environment to try out things that others are scared to try. That's what will take the continent forward. After all, we know that 90% of all of our new jobs are created by small and medium enterprises, and even more so in the future when digitalization starts becoming the main component in every job. So to the young startups here in this room, our next edition is for you guys. Together, we'll work to make sure that you guys will make a difference in the world and will make our continent proud. I would like to call on all our partners, existing and new ones, to join us as you have done in the past. Choose your form of contribution. We have hubs, pavilions, panels, exhibition, gala dinners, cultural soiree, golf challenge. More details will be given by Winnie during her PowerPoint presentation. In Smart Africa, we mean business. We are here to assure that every minute and every dollar you invest in us brings returns in multiple ways. Let's talk about how to leverage the summit for your business or your mission. I would like to thank and recognize our past sponsors and exhibitors, some of them here, the government of Rwanda, MyTech, RDB, RCB, CMU, UNDP, etc. As I hand over the floor to the Permanent Secretary, Claudette, again, I would simply want to say that we should all give her a hand, a warm round of applause for her new appointment. And we believe that she's going to make a big difference in this department. And I would like to simply congratulate her again for deserving the trust of His Excellency, President Paul Kagame, who always makes the right choices. And Minister Soraya is another testimony of that. I've known her personally in her previous capacities, and I'm simply proud that she has joined us here, and her department will play a key role in what we want to do. As you know, the African continent has signed the free trade zone here in Rwanda in April last year. Just like when the WTO was created, the World Trade Organization was created, services and telecommunications have been the first ever services that was approved, that came to fruition within the WTO. We believe that the services in ICT will be the first one in this free trade zone. Even though the Open Skies initiative have been opened, we believe that the open waves will be first to see the light. And it's a challenge for all of us. And these are the type of issues we'll be discussing during the Economic Forum that will be driving Africa's trade and commerce, so that we boost intra-African trade, so that when I drink tea in Mali, it will be Rwandan tea or Kenyan tea or another African country's tea. So when I drink coffee, it's a coffee that is really from Africa. And our people will be moving in the continent freely. One of our first initiatives is One Africa Network, as you may know, so that roaming can be free everywhere in the continent, no matter where you're going. Those are initiatives that will drive business, that will drive the economic, intra-African economic ties will be stronger, and we believe that ICT will continue to play the leading role in developing our continent. Without any further ado, please let me invite again Claude Irere to come and join us and give a keynote speech.
Good morning. Okay, you don't have that energy. Good morning. It's very hard to find something to say, especially after Dr. Toure has spoken. And it's very hard to even find something to say when I've been, when I was trying to come up with a speech, one of the things that I kept thinking about was the journey that this has been. I remember coming back from school in 2013, and I was looking for a job, obviously, and someone told me that RDB was organizing this mega huge event, and it's about ICT, and I've got to be part of it. For some reason, it worked out, and I became an intern in RDB, and I was supporting the team that was organizing the first Transform Africa event in 2013. We were a team of young people, but we felt very, very proud that we were part of something big. We didn't know how big it was. I know I was working with people from South Korea. I was in charge of comms. I know every pole, every electricity pole in this city. I know how many there are from the airport to Serena. I know the length of the poles. I know the width of the pole. and I know where exactly you can fix a flyer and a flag. You know, from that small team of interns, we didn't know that we were working on something big. But actually, that first Transform Africa was the one that defined the reason why we're even here, the reason why we've been seeing consistently Transform Africa event evolving, you know, from close to 1,000 participants to last year, I think it was more than 4,000 people. And it's growing. And actually, I was reading yesterday that hotels in Rwanda are booked out, like maxed out. And I was thinking, okay, so what happens in May when Transform Africa 2019 comes? Where will the people sleep? Because it's going to even be bigger. And so I also wanted to say that this was my entry point in the ICT sector. Like I said, I came back, I entered through Transform Africa. We were just a team of interns. And when it was over, we started looking for jobs, but it had given us the kind of exposure that I don't think I would have gotten if I was anywhere else. I am speaking to you today as the permanent secretary, but it all started back then in 2013. I would like to emphasize something as well. I've seen sponsors coming on board. At the time, because I was in charge of comms, sponsors were, we didn't even know, we didn't even understand, you know. It was like a one-time off, you know, give us this kind of money, which wasn't that much, and we will give you space. We'll put your banner here, and I still have beef with some of the sponsors whose banners were lost. But I've seen them also growing to understand that this is actually bigger than they thought. And they obviously became some of the member companies in Smart Africa Secretariat. We've seen organizations, you know, from an indifferent point of view, looking at it as it's just another event. But they've become great partners to this event. I've been working consistently on the content of Transform Africa. And I am going to tell you, as it evolves, the content has also been evolving. And we've seen all of you, in one way or another, contributing to the content. And I'm happy to say that I'm not going to be part of the content team anymore. But I know that it's in very good hands, because we even did a workshop last month, in the last 2 months, just to plan for what this big Transform Africa 2019 is going to be. I'd like to borrow one of the, you know, Jean Philbert is a very good speaker, we all know, right? Last year when we were organizing, or a year ago or 2 years ago, when we were organizing Youth Connect, we gathered partners again, in this probably the same room. And he told them that we would like to see more of them in the kitchen. You know, I was the moderator at the time, and I started really pointing out on the things that people would be helping us in the kitchen. Being in the kitchen does not mean that you only get to cook and you don't get to eat what you have cooked. Being in the kitchen means that you are shaping what you will eat, but what everyone else will eat. And chefs know that preparing something and people eating it, it's, you know, there's a huge difference. If they like it, or if they don't like it, it's something else. And so I'd like to call upon every one of you, and even the partners that are not in the room, to join us in the kitchen. Help us cook something that Africa will be proud of, that everyone will want to be part of. We can't do this on our own. We count on every one of you. And the Ministry of ICT is I can't even stress this enough. This is the most important thing for the ministry, and we're certainly going to be supporting it, but we would like to see many of you come on board as well. Lastly, I'd like to be a bit more formal and talk about the theme, boosting Africa's digital economy. We strongly believe that boosting Africa's digital economy will support the region and the continent to become a more deeply integrated and dynamic digital investment, innovation and growth hub, building on the underlying strengths of the domestic digital economies and the ongoing political and economic integration processes in East Africa as well as on the continental level. I'd like to recognize the ambassadors that are here in the room. We know that you will relay the message back to your countries. And if we're going to build and boost this digital economy, we cannot stress enough how specific economies will be contributing. Thank you, ambassadors, for being with us, and we believe that you will relay the message. There's need for economies of scale and network effects offered by a larger regional market to help bridge the digital divide faster within your respective countries and the region vis-a-vis the global digital economy. This could accelerate the growth of technology-enabled businesses, lower the cost of key telecommunication services, and catalyze new digital services for citizens and business alike. Ladies and gentlemen, since the establishment of Smart Africa in 2013, the government has always supported, and we'd like to reiterate our support. Allow me to thank Smart Africa Secretariat, member states, private sector, partner organizations, academia, and media for your continued support. And lastly, I'd like to also convey the apologies of Honorable Minister Paula, who would have loved to be here with us, but has been called for another equally important event. But she sends her regards, and on est ensemble. Thank you all very much, and I would like to hand over back to Winnie. Thank you.
It's always so inspiring when you see your friends really make it to the top where they belong. Another round of applause for Claudette. Thank you. That was very inspiring. I'd like to let you know that we are live streaming on all our digital platforms, on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube. So please go to @Real Smart Africa and share the links and tweet. Our hashtag is, what's our hashtag? Our hashtag is TAS 2019 launch. So please help us spread the word. We are already very active on social media right now. I'd also like to remind you that there's a piece of paper on every table. It's a registration form. Please let us know you are here. There are pens on the table, so please give us your details so that we can keep you posted. We also have quite a number of goodies for you on the table. I'll start with this little document. This is the TAS 2019 sponsorship pack. It has all the details for every sponsorship category that I'll be mentioning here. So I'll talk about this package very quickly, so please take it with you for all the details on everything you might want to know about the sponsorship. The other one is Smart Africa Strategic Vision, We are well aware that you do know a little bit about us, but we've taken the trouble to really let you know what it is we do, who we are working with, and what projects we are all working towards. So please take it with you as well. It's a good keepsake. The last one is a brochure. It's a compressed version of the sponsorship pack. So it's a quick glance at what you can expect in terms of sponsorships, so in case you don't want to go through the bigger documents. So please take these documents with you. We actually did them for you. So thank you. So let me get started with the presentation so that we can move on to the next stage. So in case it hasn't been clear to this point, this is about Transform Africa Summit. I'd like to just point out that this coming summit in 2019 will be the 5th edition. PS Claudette has just talked about the very first one. So you all know what it takes now to be a PS. You just need to intern at, at Transform. But no, kidding aside, Claudette has been an excellent partner for us. She was instrumental in making sure we had very good content for the last one. So for those of you who maybe haven't walked the journey very closely with us, these are some of the statistics of where we have come from. So for the last 4 editions, we've managed to have over 15,000 delegates. Most of those have been regulators, ministers, C-suite executives. You know, we've had quite a number of very well-represented people from the ICT sector, from government, from private sector. So it's always good to know that this has come quite far. So let me dive into TAS 2019. I need to remind you the dates so that you can save them. The event will start on 7th May. 7th May will be the Economic Forum. It will be our 2nd edition. So that's, you know, the first event. Secondly, on 8th and 9th is the actual summit itself. And then on the 10th, we'll have the golf tournament. So Dr. Ture mentioned that the inaugural Economic Forum was held last year. What this is the space where we invite CEOs, you know, basically your COOs, CFOs, C-suite executives, together with high-ranking government officials, the PSs, the ministers, the mayors, so that the two groups can come together and talk about very important, I'm sorry, our IT guy, please. This is Smart Africa, so this really shouldn't be happening. Idris? Okay, and you're back, thank you. So this is where we will then talk about the very important topic of Africa as a startup. So we are looking at things like financing, what that would take for the startups, things like venture capitalists, crowdfunding. We are talking about human capital. How do we develop it? How do we use R&D and education, learning, to make sure that we have the right talent in terms of human capital? We'll also tie that into integration, cashless societies, payments. How do we bring everyone onto digital platforms? How do we make sure that regulations and policy are merged in such a way that it makes it into a seamless endeavor for us? And then, of course, we are always cognizant of the SDGs and making sure that we tie in whatever we're talking about into aspects such as energy, gender, health, to make sure that we are working concurrently with the other projects in the continent. So the other important thing will be on 8th and 9th, You may remember that last year we started hubs. A hub is simply a dedicated room where conversations can happen continuously for 2 days. So last year we had the digital health hub, we had the blockchain hub. They ended up being extremely popular because those are not conversations you can talk about for an hour and it's done. So the feedback we got is that we were encouraged to think about more hubs. It doesn't mean that we will have 8 hubs, but these are some of the hubs we are considering. The women's session at the end of TAS 2018, we were given a very clear mandate that 1.5 hour session at the end of Transform is not enough to discuss issues on gender and bridging the gender gap. So this coming year, in addition to having the Smart Women host the closing ceremony, we'll also have a Smart Women Hub, where conversation on the girl child, on smart women, can continue for 2 days. Other hubs are the future of work and how we're preparing our youth to take on those tasks. Blockchain, cities of the future. I'm glad to see the Mayor of Kigali here. I'm sure she'll be an excellent contributor to that sector, and so forth. So we're encouraging you to think about taking up a hub, because it will be a great way to communicate a lot of what your organizations are doing. The other one will be pavilions. This is the bigger version of an exhibition space. Exhibition spaces tend to be 2 by 2 or 3 by 3 meters. This is close to 50 meters squared. Last year we had our partners from JICA really put up an excellent pavilion. We had partners from EcoBank, CMU came up in a big way. So these are some of the things we will do a lot more of. We got feedback from our member states that they would now want to see country pavilions. So a Rwanda pavilion, a Kenya pavilion, Mali, Uganda, and so forth. So we are looking at how to expand this space so that we include more of this. And then, of course, the fun part, which is the social event, always important. We have the cultural soiree, which will be on the first day, on the 7th in the night. This is usually a cocktail where, meet and greet, get to break the ice, get to meet new people. On the second day, which is the 8th evening, we have the gala dinner. This is for platinum and gold delegates. And then for the first time next year, we're going to have a music concert. We think it's an excellent idea to highlight our fantastic African talent, whether that's in the youngsters or in the area of jazz. So we'll put up a music concert where, it will be a great way to close out the event. And then the ever popular golf tournament. This year, I keep calling it last year, it feels like a year ago, and we just had it. TAS 2018 was where we held our inaugural golf tournament, and we got feedback from the private sector that this is a great way to continue the networking on the greens. So this is one other thing we will have. So I mentioned the exhibitions earlier. Usually we have them indoors in MH3 and 4, which is at the end of the Kigali Convention Center. The feedback we've received is that the spaces are well done, but the location is perhaps not ideal because traffic is not doesn't necessarily find its way to the back of the convention center. So this coming year, we are looking at taking the exhibitions outside so that right from the gate all the way to the entrance of the Kigali Convention Center, those covered spaces, I've tried to put some pictures there. We will, obviously they will not look like that. We will completely deck them out and redo them so that as people walk in, they're literally forced to interact with exhibitors. And we think that will be a much better experience. So let me quickly take you through what we have in terms of the sponsorship pack. So we are looking for lead sponsor. Again, I'd like to thank CMU for being our very, very great sponsor 2 years in a row as the lead sponsor, and I see they're represented here by the professor. This will be a category that we're encouraging both private sector and governments to think about taking on. Again, the little document here gives you all the details in terms of the benefits and the things you can expect for this category. The next category is the Economic Forum, which I just mentioned. Again, EcoBank helped us quite a bit on this category last year, and we are encouraging private sector particularly, because this will be a space for the CEOs and CFOs to come and talk about really important aspects affecting this continent. Next category, I mentioned that the closing ceremony is usually dedicated to smart women, but in addition to that, we will have it joined with a hub where conversations can go on for 2 days, but then culminate in the closing ceremony on the 9th at the Smart Women Forum. I talked about the pavilions. This is both for private sector, for countries to think about taking a big enough space where you can showcase what your organizations are doing in terms of the digital economy of the continent. We have hubs. I've talked about this before. Think about, even if it's not taking a hub for 2 days, you perhaps can take one for half a day and be able to present, have panel discussions, and really have an impact in terms of communicating, again, what you're working on. Partner sessions are important because sometimes our partners just need an hour to basically communicate what their agendas are. So last year we had VW, who took on an hour. We had Microsoft. We had a number of other organizations who really just needed a session to convey a message. So that's also open for taking. Miss Geek, always popular. This is a very, very important agenda for us. Those of you who are there at TAS 2018, these are young girls between 17 and 21 doing amazing things. They came up with just incredible apps of how we can change this continent, just reiterating that the solutions will come from our youth. So this is an important sector to support because then we help them continue to think about these great out-of-the-box ideas and then see how we can scale those up for them to, again, take their place in this continent. Then we have Face the Gorilla. This is in the format of Shark Tank or Lion's Den in Kenya. This is where investors listen to pitches done by young entrepreneurs. So they come and present their ideas. The panel is, consists of people who, with money, who actually want to invest, and the winners actually get a lot of investment for the ideas. It's a great way to encourage our youth. Then we have a media section where we have media in one room, and we use that room to launch products. We use it to sign MOUs. So it's a great space if you're thinking of launching something during TAS 2019 or signing an MOU or bringing something, to the press. This is a great space where that can be done because they're all in one room. They're taking notes. You get coverage instantly. We then have, obviously, connectivity, Liquid Telecom, RISA, were great partners in this space in terms of making sure we had connectivity throughout the Kigali Convention Center. Registration, lanyards, accreditation, a great way to get visibility, especially because this starts about 2 weeks before. So 2 weeks before the event, on the badges, on the lanyards, everywhere you look, on the website, registration, this is a great way to get visibility as a partner. We are looking for an official carrier. Rwandair has been an excellent facilitator for us. We are hoping we can get on board with them again. But again, this category is open to more than just one carrier. Transport, those of you who are here in May, VW partnered with us, brought in brand new Passats that we used for our VIPs. It was an excellent experience. So we are looking for, in addition to the shuttles we provide and other transportation facilities, it's important to have something separate like this, which just adds to the status of the event. We are looking also for an accommodation sponsor. We work with various hotels, of course, the Radisson Blu, the Serena where we are at, the Marriott, and several others, because as the PS mentioned, the city will be sold out. So we are looking for partners to work with. The Platinum Lounge is where our platinum level delegates will be networking. This is a great space where a lot of the VIPs sit, have impromptu meetings. So we are looking to really have this place sponsored, and you can actually make presentations to them, sponsor lunch, and that sort of thing. The other spaces for our other gold member delegates, silver member delegates, we will have spaces where they can have lunch, where they can have coffee breaks. So this will be also a great way to get some visibility. The gala dinner, this is where people get all decked out. This coming one, we are hoping we can make it an African theme so that we just display the African splendor and colors. So it's a great place to come as a sponsor. You get to make a presentation, you get to talk about your products, and it's usually a nice, fun environment. The cultural soiree, again, this is a cocktail. And again, same concept applies. You will get to make presentations, and really everyone is here because this is the first day they're looking to network. There's a lot of energy in the room, so this is really a good space. And of course, the music concert, this will just be pure fun, which is extremely important when we are closing out a session. It's important to end on a high, which is what we are planning to do. For the golfers in the room, again, the feedback we got is that quite a number of deals were actually closed on the golf course, as tends to happen because golf is the business sport, if you will. So this is a great way to give merchandise to the golfers who will be in the room to talk about some of the things you're doing as the private sector. So allow me one more minute to just let you know where we are at in the process of planning. The items in orange, I'm not sure you can see that clearly, but we did start the planning of Transform 2019 almost as soon as 2018 ended. We've done post-mortems. We understand what we did wrong, what we did right, and what we need to improve on. We have sent out venue bookings. All the venues we need have been booked. Again, all these little items have been designed already and already in circulation. We are, as PS mentioned, we already had a meeting with some of our key stakeholders to talk about content for next year. We've sent out the requisite RFPs. Obviously, we're here for this event today. And if you go on our landing page, which is transformafricasummit.org, transformafricasummit.org, you'll be able to see our draft one of our program. I think that deserves a clap, that about 8 months out, we already have a program, which will really help us get the necessary speakers for the next event. So what we can look forward to is that we'll begin having meetings with command posts. These are the people who really get the ball moving. We'll then obviously need to get people on board to help us run the event. And then we plan to have all the invitations, whether it's to the delegates, to the speakers, heads of state, those should go out really from December. And then 2019, next year, the milestones we are looking at is during the AU session in January in Addis, President Kagame, who's also the chairman of Smart Africa, will get to personally invite the heads of state present to come. But then we'll also begin, finalizing on the app, the registration space, so that registration can open in February. And it will run right up until April. In February, we'll begin the design work, the construction work, obviously all the other things. So I really don't want to give you more details than that, but this is just to let you know there's a lot of work already going on. There's a lot of work planned, and we are doing it in a very project management specific way. We're not just guessing what's happening. So we are good for our word. You can partner with us because we're very deliberate in how we are doing this, and we plan this to be the best transform ever. So if there are any questions for me, that's the end of my presentation. Any questions while I'm still on stage? Okay, I must have been very articulate, so thank you. So I'll invite Jean-Philbert Nsengimana, who's the special advisor for Smart Africa. We're very grateful to have him on board because he's been fantastic for our organization, and he'll take us through the next session. Thank you.
Thank you, Winnie. Good morning, everyone. So, when in 2013, the permanent secretary was an intern, I was her mentor. So you can understand how proud I feel this morning. But almost 10 years earlier, in 2005, I met a man. That man, for the first time, he was the Secretary General of ITU. I met him in Ouagadougou. So I was this young graduate, and I grabbed his business card. In the next few minutes, I sent him an email. I was so surprised that the same day he responded. And that man is Dr. Toure, and he was my mentor too. And he still is. So, ladies and gentlemen, be generous with your business cards and do respond to your emails. You never know where it will lead. So I'm here to do one thing only. So far it's been Smart Africa to you. And you know that this is a joint business. We're giving you the plan of the kitchen, and you've been already invited to be part of it. So I'm here to do one thing, which is to listen to you. I'm sure you've got ideas. You've participated before. You'd like to participate again. You've been given the outline of what we think in terms of content, the partnership opportunities. Now, I'll give you 1 minute to prepare because I want to give the microphone, I have one here, to each table. Since the time is limited, I will first get one person per table to speak. And when you speak, please tell us which organization you're from, the other organizations that are seated on your table, and which of the activities you'd like to be more involved in the future. Of course, I must remind you to fill up the form that is in front of you because we want to follow up with each one of you. I think there are some tables which need more forms. Please distribute enough forms to every participant. So please consult for 1 minute. Decide who's going to speak on behalf of your table. and I'll be with you in a second. Thank you so much. And I will start with the high table, of course. I see many people busy filling up the forms. Others are conducting elections to designate a representative. By the way, if there is a table which is ready now, I'm happy to give you the microphone right now. Ah, okay. I'm told this table is ready, and Patrick is the representative.
You are yet to be ready, Minister. AI.
Tell us the organizations that are sitting on this table, and tell us some of the things you want to be part of. I'll get back to you when the first round is done.
Okay.
If there is any other one who wants to speak. Okay. Patrick, please go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So we have a very diverse table here with lots of companies. We have Makajera Aviation. We have a company in social media and digital marketing. We have the Ministry of ICT and Innovation. We have AC Group. We have Dot Rwanda. We have IHS and Sahasra Electronics. So we will be involved in a number of activities. As I said, the table is very diverse. So tech women will be interested. We'll be very interested and active in
there is no, there is a woman sitting there. Okay. But we can be he for she.
Indeed. We'll also be heavily interested in the economic forum and AI as well. And Akajara Aviation will take the lead on that.
Excellent.
And finally, of course.
I hope somebody is taking notes, huh? Oh, yes, we have people taking notes there. Yes.
Yes, and finally, the overall Transform Africa Summit. Not forgetting the communication, since we have digital marketing as part of the table.
Excellent. Thank you. A round of applause to Patrick. Now I'm with the high table. Your Excellency, the Minister, Excellencies, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Honorable Philibert. I will speak on behalf of my colleagues on this table. The good news is my ICT or my tech will sponsor everything else that's left. But we will be working together as government of Rwanda, of course. Of course, the Ministry of Trade and Industry would definitely sponsor the Trade Hub.
Excellent. Thank you. A round of applause to the Minister.
You know, in regards to African partnership, Ambassador Omar Dau, we work together to sponsor a big event. I know he's due to excuse himself, but this is something we'll work out. One UN UNDP, I know they've sponsored many events before and any hubs, so we can count on our support.
RISA.
For RISA,
yes,
as well, connectivity.
Excellent.
Well. Dr. Amadan Toure, you have him 200% or 1,000%. So thank you very much, and we'll continue the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Round of applause. I think we've got a lot of promises on this table. We will follow up with you individually. So one of the other things we want to follow up with you is just not the sponsorship, is also the thought leadership. We'd like to get ideas in terms of how we put together the content, who we want to give the floor to speak, so that really people can find that they are coming to Transform Africa is the best and the most productive 2 days of their 2019. So I'll go to this table. The representative has, oh, okay.
Okay, John Fairbrass. I like your aggressiveness always.
I apologize for that.
My name is Masayuki Furukawa from Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA. And our tables, most of them is from Smart Africa Secretariat, already in the kitchen. And they pay the biggest effort to setting up the Transform Africa 2019. And from JICA, we really want to utilize this great opportunity to bring in more Japanese people and Japanese company to connect the African continent. So we promise to bring our best effort to bring more people, likewise last 2 years. So actually we cannot decide how we can contribute, but we promise that we try to best effort to bring more Japanese representative here to TAS 2019. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Smart Africa is not only about about Africa, it's also about our partners beyond the continent and across the world. So, next.
I'm Shadrach Dusabe from UN Women Rwanda Country Office. A table of four organizations represented on this table: UNDP, UN Women Digital Health, and Teledis. And just a synergy that is emerging across the organizations represented on this table, that of interest to actively engage and support the Women's Summit, but also the Economic Forum, and particularly UNDP also eager to use this forum actually to identify synergies and a partnership, and therefore inviting just all of us here present to approach UNDP and brainstorm on the possible partnerships and synergy as we would like to make the Smart Africa a real success to a greater height. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Women's Summit, check. Economic Forum, check. Let's move to this table. Have you elected your representative? Appointed.
Thank you. My name is Arthur Rutajengo from MTN, Rwanda. We have been a partner of Transform Africa, and will certainly be part of it continuously. I have an opportunity to sit with the Chargé d'Affaires from Congo-Brazzaville, the ambassador from Uganda, the country director from GIZ, and the current moderator, the advisor, the special advisor to Smart Africa, and our host, who will be our host, Chantal, the mayor of Kigali. So some of the people that are seated here on the table will be sponsors, they'll be hosts, and also will be the mouthpiece to make Smart Africa shine, whether in Rwanda or across the continent. Thank you.
Excellent. Excellent. Shining check. I want to put on the spot the mayor. There was something about the cities of the future or the present.
Thank you very much, moderator. I would like really to thank you all for organizing the Transform Africa regularly in Rwanda and in Kigali. And we are happy to host it again next year in May. And I would like to take the opportunity to ensure that Kigali will be safe and clean to host all the delegates.
A round of applause.
And we are also very interested by the hub on smart cities, and we would like to be a great partner of this specific hub. Maybe we can even host it in the city of Kigali Hall.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And another thing is that we would like to be on board for the preparation of the event. Maybe I would like to appoint someone, a technical person, on the technical committee that will be following on this on a daily basis. Thank you very much.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you, Lord Mayor. By the way, you've seen the number of hubs, the number of activities. We are running a high risk that the venue at KCC we may run out of space, so Mayor has already anticipated and generously offered to host the Cities of the Future hub within the Kigali City Hall. So you can also offer to host a hub within your premises or another hotel, which is not KCC. We did it last time the Women's Summit was happening here, just one day after the Transform Africa. So we are flexible, we are open, we are looking at all possible venues for the different interactions and activities that will take place. May I now come to this table?
Thank you. My name is Emmanuel Dusenge from IMASAT. IMASAT is a platinum member of Smart Africa Alliance and actually has been a lead sponsor in Transform Africa 2017. I'm honored to be selected to represent this table. On this table we have DX from Norway. We have CMU, actually, which has been the lead sponsor 2018. We have ESRI. Actually, we are all, after discussion, we have DDA from Smart Africa in charge of IT and innovation. We are actually happy to we've realized that we've been actively participating in this session, the hubs, the blockchain, the future of work, e-agriculture, e-health, smart cities. In particular, IMASAT has been active in smart cities because of our broad participation in connectivity. So we have the DX, which is now into digital platforms. We have ESRI, which actually into geospatial. We have academia that's just creating skills. So we do see synergy in terms of making sure that this session, actually we realize the session that we accelerating Africa's single digital market. So in terms of commitment, we've been part of the...
I think you can take the whole summit.
Actually,
this table.
we will consider actually some of the areas that we could really actively participate, but we are part of the Smart Africa, and we promise that in the upcoming discussion we will make some commitments towards any of the specific areas that we want to be.
Absolutely, and of course I look forward to collect the forms where some specifics would have been written. Thank you, CMU, for being our lead sponsor last year, and also Inmarsat and MTN for being our platinum members who are on board always. We move to the next table.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Frank Murangwa, and I'm the Director of Destination Marketing at Rwanda Convention Bureau. And I'm here on a table of 7, representing 7 companies from 7 sectors. And all of us are very excited and happy to be part of Transform Africa 2019. But speaking from my organization, as usual, Rwanda Convention Bureau is very happy and delighted to be part of the organization. And we want to pledge and really renew our commitment to ensure that Transform Africa 2019 becomes a success. As you know, from a country point of view, in terms of really positioning ourselves as a MICE destination, we can't have any better event than really Transform Africa. We've seen it grow every year, and the PS mentioned that indeed this week there was a mention in the media that our hotels are full. It's a good problem. If our hotels are full, that means really it's more money that has come into our economy. But again, we want to pledge to you that indeed the private sector is looking at the opportunity, and the more hotels are coming up, and so we shouldn't really have challenge come next year, May. And of course, we work in partnership with our city of Kigali to ensure that we continue to avail all opportunities. Looking at the diverse sectors we have on our table, I think from the private sector, people in the ICT sector, from the banking, from Makajala Aviation, we're already ready to take advantage of this and ensure that we keep the money in our economy through the partnerships that are going to come through that, but also ensure that we keep the dollars that are coming into our economy. So once again, I thank you. And I also want to extend our apologies of the CEO of Rwanda Development Board, who couldn't make it because of another conflicting event, and he has really apologized. But again, rest assured that the Rwanda Development Board is part of this, and will continue to support Transform Africa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Frank. Of course, RCB, RDB, you've been there for us every time, so we really count on you for 2019 to make it bigger, better, and smarter. Next, just behind you, Gaju. Yes.
Good morning. My name is
I will come to the tables even with one person. So, yeah, please go ahead.
Good morning. My name is Juliette Karitani. I'm seated with other 4 companies, Patrick and Fiona, Jean Bosco and Teddy. I would like to speak as well on our side of the King Faisal Hospital. I would like to come in as the health facility, would bring the mobile clinic for the people who are going to be there. And yeah, that's it, I think.
All right.
Yes.
So, health hub or health facility?
Health
services
facility
during the conference?
Yes, during the conference.
Prevention or firefighting?
No. Prevention. If someone gets sick, we'll be there to help. Yes.
All right. Okay, so at the end of this, we have 2 more tables to go, 3 tables. I will give the floor to only 3 people who are not representing the table, but who are speaking on behalf of their own organizations. So where is the mic? Yes, please. This table.
Good morning. My name is Ishimwe Akim. I work for Babylon Rwanda. Our interest is digital health and AI. Sitting with my colleague from DMM Hehe. It's a software development company. Their interest is in smart women and e-agriculture. Thank you.
Excellent. Turi kumwe. So digital health and AI. Please. Okay. That table, I see Magnus, but I don't know whether he's been elected or self-appointed. Oh, she will. Okay. Please.
Well, I hope I do you justice. So I am Tiva Kananura, and I work with Girl Effect, and we are always happy to collaborate in Transform Africa. So in Girl Effect, definitely we fit perfectly in the Smart Women Summit, and we'll definitely be involved in that. We work in, we build media platforms and mobile platforms for girls to change their lives, and definitely will be part of this just to ensure that girls' voices and women voices are in the room and they are empowered, and that we have full participation. So we've already been in conversations with other government agencies like GMO, and we'll definitely be working with other organizations in this area. And I hope I do you justice, because you've already planned all this, and it's really great that we are all planning in advance. So Magnum works for Tariff, which is a media agency, and they've decided to set up a booth where they will facilitate other foreign media organizations, which is great. And also they will be documenting testimonies live during the summit, and they will have 10 documentaries where they will be talking about the most attractive investment areas in the sector.
Wow. Thank you. A round of applause to Girl Effect and Tarifa. We are on this table now.
Thank you. My name is Pascal Gasheja. I'm with this table with Smart Africa, who are already in the kitchen.
Right.
And Igihe.com, who are in the media. So in our organization, we will do high-level advocacy of this agenda of boosting digital economy. And of course, firmly believing that the Africa transformation will come through digital economy as well.
Right.
And ICT will remain a big enabler for all other sectors in this agenda of sustainable development. Thank you.
Thank you. A big round of applause to everyone for your pledges. We will follow up with you promptly. I had promised to give the floor to one or two people who want to speak on behalf of their organization, if there are any. Anyone with a burning commitment? Otherwise, mindful of time, I'd like to switch to the next item, which is just a 5-minute short presentation from Inmarsat and their partners. They have very, very exciting proposal that can digitalize Africa in a very short time, and we all stand to benefit. So without further ado, please come on the stage. A round of applause. Thank you.
Well, I'm not sure if the applause is quite appropriate yet, but let's see. Okay, right, so to introduce myself. So my name is Anthony Fulham, and I'm representing a project which we're putting together with Inmarsat. And this project